Micdup.
Highlights from Lowlifes. Highlights from Lowlifes.
Okay. There was no slip ups on the theme song this time. I'm very happy, Rob. That was good. Yeah.
You're welcome. And can I open my beer now?
Yes, you may.
God.
Tonight we highlights from Lowlifes have a special guest. Carl Babe Shanks is with us. He will be joining in on the hilarity, along with Robbie, Marty, and myself. Tonight we're gonna do something fun. We've done some two truths and a lie shows before, as they apply to us. But tonight we're going to do some educating, or as they say, edumacating. We are going to talk about baseball vernacular terms, what their meaning is,
Siri,
and
define edumacating. Siri.
edumacating, yeah.
Okay.
And then we're going to tell you the origin of the terminology, but we'll do it in a two truths and a lie format. So I will give you three baseball vernacular terms, their meanings, and then their origins. But one of the origins will be a lie. Robbie's going to do something different because he must have consulted with Terry and he didn't get it right. Yeah.
No,
So,
I clearly did not consult with Terry because I came up with an intellectual proposition on my own as opposed to
okay, good. All right.
Brad the Animal Leslie, for example.
Siri, define intellectual.
Oh, it's actually telling him. Oh, that's not good. Okay, I think this is show 98. We're coming up on the big 100. I don't know when we'll do the 100th show or where, but we'll figure it out. We'll do some kind of celebration. But tonight, let's get started. All right, I'm going to go first. I'm going to come up with a few baseball vernacular terms that probably everybody's familiar with, but we'll find out the origins. All right, I'm going to start off with one called a can of corn. Can of corn is what we see in a baseball game where there's a routine fly ball or a routine pop up, and the fielder has no trouble catching the ball. That's known as a can of corn, and you'll hear announcers say that. But where did the origin of can of corn come from? So the story is that in grocery stores that had several shelves, maybe some of the canned goods were up at the top shelves, and the clerks would go out and knock down a can off the top shelf, and it would drop lightly into their apron. So this is how they would gather items for the patrons of the grocery store. And it was easy. It was an easy catch into their apron. So it was a can of corn. So that's the origin of can of corn. All right. Let's do another one. Baltimore chop. Okay. Baltimore chop. If you hear that terminology during a game, it's the concept of a batter beating the ball into the ground, and it takes a very, very high hop to the infield, and the fielder has to wait for it to come down, much like a fly ball or a pop up, and they're rushed to throw the guy out at first base. So a Baltimore chop is a base hit in many cases because the fielder doesn't have any chance to actually make a play on it. So where did this come from? This concept of the Baltimore chop?
Probably Baltimore.
Well, you may be right. You may be right. So the story is that back in the days of the National League Orioles, there was a meatpacking plant called McCaffrey's. And a lot of the workers at the plant, the cleavers, would take breaks, lunch breaks, and they'd go out and throw the cleavers at blocks of wood in a downward motion. And the people in the neighborhoods would watch. These guys they're pretty good. They're like Robin Hood hitting those wooden blocks. Well, a couple of the guys that worked in the meat packing plant also played on the baseball team. And with the same motion they used downward thrust with the cleaver, they were hitting the ball off the ground. And one of the fans yelled out, "Hey, that's a Baltimore chop," just like the chops at the meat factory. So that's number 2. All right. Let's see. Let me get you a third one to work with. Dead ball. So where did the term dead ball come from? Well, first of all, the meaning is the ball does not go very far. I hit it and it doesn't come off the bat like it should. It has no life to it. There's no drive to it, and it's an easy play for the fielders. But why? What was the origin of the term dead ball? Well, back in the day, when they had baseballs in games, they didn't swap them out every 5 seconds. Those balls were not wound as tightly as today's baseballs. They were covered with dirt, grime, spit, Vaseline, whatever. You were going to use that baseball the entire game unless it was lost. Today's games, they go through dozens of baseballs during a baseball game. Back in the day, you only had a couple balls. So soon those balls lost life and they were considered dead to the fielders. That's why in the dead ball era, the scoring for those games was so low. Okay. All right, guys, you've got my 3. You've got the dead ball, the Baltimore chop, and the can of corn. All right, Marty, which one of those 3 is a lie?
No, my screen is not frozen. I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you tried to oversell the Baltimore one. It was just a little too much detail, which means you're elaborating, so you're storytelling. So I don't like Baltimore.
Okay.
Which is not true, but I like Baltimore. But I don't.
Carl, which one's a lie?
Although I was leaning towards, the whole story about the dead ball, that seems to be more apropos for a synonym for growing older, anyways. That the balls seem to become useless as you go on. But I'm gonna have to agree with Marty. I think it's the Baltimore chop. I think you oversold it a little bit, and I actually think the reason they call it that had something to do with the infield and how it was prepared.
Okay. Robbie, which one's a lie?
I am going to say that it was the can of corn because the legend that I know of the can of corn is not the supermarket piece. It's the guy at bragging one night, one of the players, I don't remember who it was, but bragging that he could catch anything. And the guy said, "What about a can of corn off a rooftop?" And they dropped a can of corn over the roof and the guy caught it. So that's the legend that I know about can of corn. So that's the one I'm going to say is your lie.
Well, I'm not saying that what you said didn't happen, but the terminology is from the grocery store.
Well, that's stupid.
I know.
What did they say in Liberty Balance, right? They said when it comes to the fact of the legend, print the legend.
When legend becomes a fact, print the legend.
Yeah. So the lie is the Baltimore chop. It had nothing to do with McCaffrey's meats. It had nothing to do with any players coming from the factory and playing in the games. It was actually named after a couple of hits that Wee Willie Keeler got as a Baltimore Oriole. And Carl's right. There was people who questioned why the infield was so hard and that maybe the grounds crew had something to do with it. And that's why these hits were happening in situations where they would normally just be a ground ball out. So that is the lie. You guys, you guys were correct. I probably elaborated too much. Sorry, oversold it. All right, who's next?
I'll try it.
All right, Marty, what do you got?
All right, we got home plate. We got the real story of Moonlight Graham, and we got the ugly finder.
All right,
Home plate was actually a plate. They used many items back in the 1800s, especially in the not quite professional leagues. They used wood and a piece of wood and a cast iron and even a dinner plate. And even in the rules back in 1869, it was a circle. It was round. It was about a foot round. And then when they changed it to the current dimension that it is today, the point was pointing to the pitcher, not the catcher. Think about it. The point was pointing to the pitcher and not the catcher. That's home run. What did I say was next?
you did.
Moonlight Graham.
Mhm.
Moonlight. And we all know the story of Moonlight Graham by watching that movie that whose name Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams, right? But this guy's real name was Harry O'Neill. He was a catcher for the Philadelphia A's. His nickname was Porky. He came in as a defensive replacement in 1939. Didn't get a chance to bat. And then World War II came along, and he enlisted after Pearl Harbor. He was wounded in Saipan. Active duty, of course. It was the battle at Tinian, but it lost his life in Iwo Jima. He was killed on the first day of fighting in Iwo Jima, and the orderly remembers this guy and said that Mr. O'Neill said, "I have no regrets." So by using that story, they tweaked it a little bit, and came up with the movie version of Moonlight Graham. The last one is the Ugly Finder, and we've all had this happen to us because we all played ball, and when you at that crucial moment of the game in that key play, the baseball gods decide to put the ball in play to the most iffy fielder you got at the crucial moment when the game's on the line. And so it is the baseball is the ugly finder who will probably make the play, maybe not. But well, that's the story of baseball. So there you go.
Got it. Okay.
Which one's bull?
The ugly finder is the bull.
What? That was good. What do you mean? But what do you mean?
Yeah, the ugly finder, no good.
No explanation.
No explanation. Oh, okay. That's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Carl?
I was leaning towards the Moonlight Graham one, but man, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with the ugly finder.
Huh. Okay. I'm gonna say that your Moonlight Graham story, which is really heartbreaking and much of a tearjerker, but I think it's an out and out lie. So I'm gonna go with that.
Well, the ugly finder is the foul ball lined into the dugout, and it's going to find it. It says it's going to find the ugly.
Oh,
yep.
So that's the ugly finder. But
I
came across that Moonlight Graham story off the internet the other night, and I was so touched by the story itself. I knew I had to incorporate it into the show. But he was a real guy. So wow.
All right.
Okay.
I feel bad now.
Yeah. All right. Now, Carl, just breathe,
All right.
relax.
So
You're among friends, but don't worry. We'll all laugh and belittle you later on. So don't worry about it. Just
there we go.
proceed.
All right. So I'm going to go with my three as golden sombrero, cheeseburger, and headwork. So
Okay.
golden
That's
sombrero
Headley.
only for you.
This is 1947. You can sue her.
So the term a golden sombrero was conned in the early '80s by a broadcaster by the name of Peter Gammon, and he directed it at Greg Luzinski, who struck out 4 times in one game, and that's where the idea of a golden sombrero, it kind of matched up to like a hat trick in hockey, right? Except it's the opposite. You didn't really get the 3 goals; you struck out 4.
Right.
Um, so that's the golden sombrero. A cheeseburger is a derivative of throw 'em the hot cheese. So a lot of little leaguers and now major leaguers have moved away from throwing, give them the cheese, give them the hot stinky cheese, meaning a high fastball or fastball down the middle of the plate, to throw them a cheeseburger. And the catcher sets it up and goes, "Give me a cheeseburger right in the mid." So that's the definition of a cheeseburger. The last one is headwork. And headwork is definition is to prepare yourself with all the statistical information of the game, be able to play the game and such. But really, it's more used by talkative catchers to upset the batter in the batter's box, so that it takes all the prep the batter has done out of his head, so that he loses concentration on the pitch ball. So that's headwork.
Okay. Okay. All right. Robbie, what's the lie?
Number 3. I'm not
Headwork.
buying it. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Okay.
We do have to. Hey, Rob, we do have to fill an hour show, so you may want to say something.
No, don't worry.
Okay.
Rob is here.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll stretch things out.
Weber took 9 minutes. You two together have taken 6.
Yeah.
Now, who was prepared and who wasn't?
All right, Marty, what's the lie?
Well, like I said, the lies are too embellished. So it's right. Headwork is all the mental and studying you've done, but then you have it drained out at the batter's box. It doesn't quite cut it. So headwork is the phony one.
Okay. Well, I'm going to deviate from you again.
Thank God.
I think
Oh,
there's got to be more of a reasoning behind calling something a golden sombrero, other than Peter Gammon's watching Greg Luzinski strike out 4 times. Why did he choose golden sombrero? There's something more there. I need more information. So I think that's the embellishment. All right.
Well, first of all, let me address Rob. The reason he called it a golden sombrero was because of the reference of a hat trick in hockey, right?
3 strikeouts,
Mhm.
hat trick.
So, well, no, three goals in hockey is a hat
Yeah.
trick.
Yeah.
4 strikeouts in a baseball game, it had to be golden because it was so much bigger than three goals to strike out 4 times.
I see.
And a sombrero had to be much bigger than a hat, and so that's why he came up with the phrase "golden sombrero." So the lie
It's
actually was headwork, but
oh God,
knowing
I
a
am.
couple of catchers that have talked to multiple people, 2 of which I know of well, one that plays for us and one that plays for Dodgertown, that talk consistently every time you're in the batter's box. And it does screw up some people. I laugh most of the time, but there are other guys that really get frustrated by it because they talk so much and they lose their concentration. So that's
Mhm.
why I went for that one. But Marty and Robbie were correct. It is head work was the lie.
Okay, I'm 0 for 9.
You have a platinum sombrero.
Okay,
You
so
have the whole hat
before
rack.
before we move on to Robbie, I just want to say Rob's going to talk about some terminology. I'm a longtime baseball fan. I've followed the game for years, and I didn't know most of the ones. I had never heard of them before, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
I looked into terminology that was popular for a short time amongst the players. So this isn't stuff that necessarily came out from the broadcasters or through the general public, stuff that you heard everywhere, but the players used it on each other. So kind of long lost baseball terminology in that regard. I probably can knock out a couple because what I did is I'm going to give you the term and then I'm going to give you three origins of that term, and then these guys here are going to try to pick out which one is the actual true definition of that term. So the first one we're going with is
Oh,
dial eight.
wait. So there's one truth and two lies. Is that what you're doing?
Correct. There is one
Okay.
correct definition in here.
All right.
And these again, these are from my research, these are things that players said to one another. This wasn't in the popular vernacular. That's why I went with these. So the first one, dial eight. Definition one, a fly ball right to the center fielder. That's in your scorecard F8. Number two, hitting a home run. Dial 8, hit a home run. And number three, a sweeping curveball that ends up in the 8 o'clock position if it was a clock face.
Hmm. All right. I'm gonna go with the obvious one. Uh, I think dial 8 is a fly ball to center field.
Okay,
So we're picking out the truth, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
he violated all the rules of the show. Yeah.
Yeah, but I made it faster.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna agree. I think it's dial 8.
Okay, fly ball, center field. Okay,
I'm going to go with the 8 o'clock pitch because why the term dial? So you dial up a curveball, you dial up a slider. So dial 8. So I think that'll go with as a pitch.
all right. Well, nobody got it right. Dial 8 was hitting a home run because on the road in the old days in the 50s and 60s, to get an outside line and call long distance, you first had to dial 8 for
Oh,
long
okay.
distance.
Wow.
Got it.
So the
Yeah.
players,
Most of us have gray hair, but I don't think any of
yeah,
us.
I'm just saying.
Well, that
So
that
you're
old.
really dating yourself.
Well, okay, guy that's older than me. I can lob another one out there real quick and we can knock out two real fast. I like this
Okay.
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
This is bug buster. This is the term bug buster. So, number one, this is a flat rolling ground ball that busts up the bugs on its path through the grass. Number two, it was a term for a pop up in the early days of lights in ballparks when the bugs would all congregate around the glowing light at night, especially in the Midwest. So, a bug buster was a pop up that went through and busted up the bug swarm. And number three, a strategy used by the San Diego Padres to try and break the world famous concentration level of Buster Posey when he was catching behind the plate. The Padre hitters would talk to Buster, and therefore it was the Bug Buster.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay. I'm going with the fly ball through the bugs around the light.
Okay.
I think Carl's got it because if it was a line drive that took out the bugs on the ground, it would be a more of a squisher or a squasher type of line. But bust them up, I mean, they would scatter. So I'm gonna agree with Carl.
Yeah, I agree. It's the pop fly into the
Interesting.
lights.
Interesting.
So now you tell us what the correct answer is.
Yeah. Okay. Now he's trying to see. He sees the clock in the corner, and we got
You
time
guys,
to kill. So
you are all three actually correct, and this was a fact that I picked up at the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame Museum because Cincinnati had the first night game, and Crosley Field was famous for drawing bugs in July and August to all the lights. So a pop up or a high fly ball into the swarm of bugs was a bug buster.
I see.
All right. Okay.
Very cool.
See,
Yes.
we're not totally stupid after all.
See, I actually remember that when I was playing MSBL in Chicago in night games, and the ball would come, pop up would come through all the bugs flying around at night. So that's
Yep.
Oh yeah.
that was in the back of my mind thinking about that.
Yep.
Hey, that's the end of round one. Why don't we take a break here and talk about our sponsor, Rob?
I got to open my little cooler so I can pull my beer out. All right. We're show 90-ish. Sponsored every single show so far by our good friends at Almanac Brewing in Alameda, California. They are one of America's premium craft brewers. I have not veered off of this beer in quite a while now, and I'm still enjoying it. Part of their lager series, the Buenos Vibras Mexican style lager. If you like this beer, go find it now because in a couple of weeks the Rocktoberfest comes out in the lager series and replaces this. That Rocktoberfest is fabulous, but this is a really great summer quencher. So if you like this beer, you got a couple of weeks to go to get it. What are you guys drinking?
Well, we like to share the wealth on this show, and I'm very grateful for that. So it was my turn to come up with the plum supernova, and I find out it goes down a little smoother in a glass. I'll be honest, but they make this stuff because people drink it, and you know what? It's if you get past the sour, it's like everything else that Almanac makes. It's good. Now I have a 4-pack. It'll last me for 6 months, but show can. All right, show label on can. Thank you. But there it is.
Well, I have many more than 4 of these. My refrigerator has a lot of them. Again, if you like a sour beer, you'll probably like this.
Yeah.
The plum is of the ones I've tried. The plum is a little bit less tart, and
there's other ones. The other ones they're tardy.
Oh yeah, there are some.
Tardier. Tardius.
They're tardier. Yeah,
Oh
they're
wow.
very tardier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Again, sour beer is not my preference, but as Marty said, this is one you can drink, and it's a bit smoother and less tart. So, unfortunately, Carl's out in Indiana, and we didn't get him any almanac. I don't even know. Is it available in Indiana, Rob? Can
It'll
you
be in
buy
selective places, but I'm curious to see if he got our surrogate travel beer.
Oh,
No.
what?
Oh. Rookie mistake.
Yinling.
Reporting
Yinling.
for duty, Major Fail.
Hey, if you knew, all right, search Jeffersonville, Indiana, and look and see where that is on a map, and you tell me if there's a beer, any place where you could get a almanac beer or even a Yingling anywhere close by, because I don't think I can find either one. There's plenty
You
of
can
others.
get Yingling for sure.
That the pub around the corner didn't have it.
Wow.
They had North Coast. They have North Coast IPA and North Coast Stout, which are California.
Wow, really? Okay. Wow.
Huh.
But,
All right.
Yeah, really
and a
good.
bunch of Indiana breweries and stuff, but nothing else. Anyway, so I'm just doing agua today. Sorry, Almanac. I wish you well. Get some distribution in Southern Indiana, will you?
Mhm.
Just hop that bridge over into Louisville, and you can get whatever you need.
Yeah, by way of Reno.
Yep. Anyway, well,
All right.
thanks again to Almanac. If you can get
Yeah.
to Alameda, California, and visit the brewery, it is a great time. They do tours. They built actually the brewery exists because of the sour beers. They became famous because of their sour beers and added in more traditional styles as they grew. But they are absolutely considered one of the kings of American sour beer making. So that's really a big thing in Belgium, and it's popular here. The people that drink sours drink a lot of sours, and Almanac is at the top of the list. They are known worldwide for that. So anyway, make
Mhm.
your trip out to the brewery, and we thank them. And yeah, thank you, Almanac. We'll see you next time. We're going to do a show there again very soon.
Yes. Yes. All right. Let's pop into round two. I'll start things off. Um, uh, Baseball term you hear on TV every once in a while. A sharp. Oh, excuse me, Marty.
Pardon me.
A sharp breaking curveball that the announcer calls a yacker. Yakker. Um, it usually is one that leaves the batter frozen. They don't even make an attempt to swing at it because they're completely fooled by the pitch. So, where did the term yacker come from? Um, well, there's a couple of different origins. It said that the break of the ball is much like that, the sound of you might equate with the word yacker, and it's also what the home plate umpires refer to as a pitch that the batter has given up on. It's a called strike, and the batter is going to yak about it because they didn't see it. And so a yacker, in this case, refers to a batter who's been completely fooled and then argues about the pitch. So a sharp breaking curveball that elicits an argument out of the batter. That's a yacker. Um, the term around the horn. Um, you guys have seen or heard around the horn many times in a game. They'll talk about double play being around the horn. That's when it goes third to second to first. A lot of times after a called third strike, you see the ball thrown around the diamond. Um, where did that come from? That idea around the horn? Well, it's a nautical term. It's about sailors who sailed out past Cape Horn and came back. So they went around the horn, and that terminology was brought into baseball. Okay. Third one, banjo hitter. Okay. So for those of you who've watched baseball games, a banjo hitter is that guy that's kind of a slap hitter. He's not hitting the ball with authority, but he always seems to find a hole in the infield or between outfielders. Not hitting the ball really hard. So where did the term banjo come from? So back in the day, at a lot of baseball games, there was a band in the stands that was part of the entertainment. Come out and watch baseball, and you get to hear the band play. And if you guys didn't know, the band would play throughout the game. It didn't it didn't stop when the game was in action. It wasn't a between innings thing. It was constantly going on. And the old joke was the guy hit a blooper into the outfield, and when it dropped, the banjo player went pling to kind of signify, boy, that wasn't very well hit. It was more like a busted up banjo beat. So that's how the term banjo hitter came into play. All right. Which one's a lie? You got
I
banjo
gotta
hitter,
say,
yacker, and around the horn.
they were all very good. I persuasive each one of them, but
Mhm.
a banjo. Okay, I'll buy the band at the game, but a banjo. We would have horns, we would have drums, we would have not a banjo. So again, too much embellishment. No, the phony. A banjo hitter is the lightweight hitter, but the the banjo at the in the band at the ballpark is I think a little much.
You've never seen a banjo player at a ballpark.
Don't you remember the guy with the whirly?
Yeah, the guy in
cap
Oakland,
playing the
but
And the
that's
banjo?
cape?
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
that was his whole entire life's work, by the way. But
And he spoiled my entire childhood. Yes.
that's why I can't take banjo players. He scared the hell out of me, like a
All
clown or
right.
something. Yeah.
So Marty thinks banjo hitter's a lie. All right.
See, I got to go with Marty on this just because he almost did a spit take when you said the banjo made the sound when the ball fell. So I got to go with Marty on this because that was like priceless. So
Carl, don't follow my path, please. Carl, please. No, 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 no.
the
Robbie?
reaction was priceless.
What we've got here
Oh.
is
A
failure to
failure
communicate.
to communicate.
Yeah, I'm going with banjo hitter too. But I believe it's because the banjo has a soft skin on the front, so it was like the guy hit the ball with a banjo because the ball didn't hardly travel very far at all. I believe that is the true definition of a banjo hitter.
Okay, so you're all right. That was the lie. But it wasn't because of the reasoning that you just gave, Rob. It was the fact that people thought that the sound off the bat sounded like a broken banjo string as it went into the outfield. So there was no band that they were referring to at the game. It just sounded to them like a broken banjo string as it came off the bat. So you guys are correct. I cannot lie. Apparently I'm terrible at lying. All right, who's next?
Can we have Nicole do 5 minutes?
Nicole is watching the show
rebuttal
as
on
he
that.
said that.
Yeah.
See how bad I am at telling lies?
I've got some other ideas for you. Okay, who's next?
I'll try it. Yips, Loogie, and Beantown. Now we all know what. Well, I've had the yips many times. That's just that time where the ball, the glove doesn't want to cooperate, and all the mystical forces of baseball are going against you. But the history of that where that phrase came from was I was surprised it went back so far. It goes back to the late 1800s, and because you remember those pictures back then, the outfield fence was not there, and the fans in these big title games would stand out in the outfield, and they would pretty much create the fence. So with the story, and they said it was the American Association, which turned out to be the American League today, the Louisville Cyclones. So Louisville gets okay. They had a right fielder who was going for the ball and just got freaked out at the last second because the lady and her dog, who was not yips but yapping, and the lady, a little pocket dog, would be yapping at her, and he took their attention away just for a second and dropped the ball or made an error. He made 2 more errors during the course of the game. So it was so he got labeled with the yip when it actually was a yap from a lap dog. So that's where they came up with the yips. Loogie stands for lefty one out guy, Loogy, and that's and that came when they back. They can't do that anymore, but back in the 80s and the 90s, they'd have the setup guy, and then they go lefty righty the whole time. And now we're talking about John Franco and Dave Righetti and Randy Myers, and they were just he was a lefty one out guy. It was a loogie. And Beantown, or the Boston Red Sox, with Beantown, really didn't have much to do with actual beans itself. If you remember your history about in the Revolutionary War, they're part of the Triangle Trade. and molasses was the big import in Boston at that time. And to preserve the beans in the field, they mixed them with molasses, and that's what. And so it was the molasses that was the preservative that let the beans had its own special flavor there in Boston. So that's where the term Bean Town came from. So there you go.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm going to go
I
with.
think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Rob.
Okay, I'm going to go with Beantown, just because Boston baked beans is a very serious thing from the time I spent in that city. So yeah, I think Beantown comes from the Boston baked bean tradition.
I was going to say exactly the same thing, Robbie. So I'm going to go with you there. I mean, Boston baked beans, and I think that's where the idea of Beantown came from.
Okay. Well, of course, I have to break from you guys. I think the
Yeah,
story
because
about
that strategy's really worked for you
yeah,
so far.
it's I'm trying to stay below the Mendoza line. So I don't think the Yips story is real. I think uh, Yips is a universal thing across all sports. Um, I don't know that it was created in baseball by a dog. So I'm going to say that's the lie.
Well, the molasses is used for the baked bean for the Boston baked bean, so that's how it is molasses. That's a secret ingredient. But the Yip story was, I thought I did pretty good with that, though. I thought I
Yeah.
had that one. Yeah, I thought I
Oh
did
no,
all
it
right
was awful. That was an awful lie.
there. Nobody went for
Yes,
loogie. Nobody
yes.
went. Nobody. I thought somebody would get the loogie. I like that came out of, but
Oh no, I
I
know what a
found out at
loogie is. Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah.
I found out
Mhm,
at a left field. So get
mhm.
left field. You got
Very good, very
it.
good, very good.
Oh, please don't
All
cut
right.
me off. I mean,
Well, it looks
I
like
like this job. Please don't.
And Carl, for your reference, the Kingfish Pub at 601 West Riverside Drive in Jeffersonville, Indiana, right near the bridge, and probably right near you, has Yingling.
Oh yes.
okay. Well,
There's a
I missed
late night
it.
quest.
Are they open until 10 p.m.? Because I'll go get one after this.
I believe they are a bar.
Uh,
Therefore, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
even better.
wait, hold on. It's a bar in Indiana. It may not stay open past 9 o'clock.
Oh,
Well, in
that's
that
not good.
case, you could also go to Losers, which is another bar nearby. They too have Yingling. So you
now,
have so
now,
many options that it's really hard to pick.
There we go.
now that one's the lie. That's too obvious. Losers. That's the lie.
And
Too
I
obvious.
figured Gail's watching the show, so I'm not going to tell you that Hooters has it as well.
I won't tell if you don't. All right. I guess I'll go next. Because we're kind of staying in the same idea of
Sure,
actually
sure.
doing it the way that Rob presented, and then we'll let
Yeah, yeah.
Burton do it the way he wanted to do it. So here's the three I have for you. In the hole, Uncle Charlie, and break up the rock pile. So in the hole is a term that, like around the horn, was pulled from nautical terms, and it actually was in the hold because the batter following the batter who's batting right now was called the batter on deck. So if you're on deck, the next person or third batter in the line would be in the hold or in the hole, which was below deck. And that's where that came from. So it got changed from in the hold over time to being the third batter coming to bat is always referred to as he's in the hole. You have on deck, you have batter, on deck, and in the hole. The next one is Uncle Charlie. So Uncle Charlie refers to a curveball, and was somehow the curveball was called this somehow in the early 1900s. They came up with this nickname for it, and it got called Uncle Charlie because of the president of Harvard University, Charles Eliot. And Charles Eliot thought this was such a great pitch to deceive the batters that he wanted it named after him, and therefore that's why they call it an Uncle Charlie. The last one is called Break Up the Rock Pile. Now, you may know the term rock pile referring to the infield being very rocky and everything else, but I heard this term coined just recently by Mike Krukow, and it's in relation to when all the infielders, the catcher, the pitcher, and the pitching coach all come out to the mound for a meeting with the pitcher, and the umpire comes out to break them up to restart the game, and that's called breaking up the rock pile. So those are
Okay.
my three.
Those are all very good. Yeah. We don't want him back. He's too smart for us.
He couldn't
It's like
find
having
Yingling
my
on his own. Not that smart. I'm going to say the rock pile. That just, I feel like I would have heard that term.
Okay.
I haven't heard that rock pile either, but the way he said it made a lot of sense. So I'm going to buy into that. What some Harvard dean has to do with a curveball? I mean, again, a little over. A little oversale. I've heard of Uncle Charlie, but it's came somewhere else.
I'm with Marty. You see something you like and you name it after yourself. I mean, who would do that? All right.
Okay, so we have all the votes in.
Yes.
I stumped the panel.
Oh.
So the real one it's Uncle Charlie, but the real story is not that it was something named after him because he thought it was a good thing. He thought it was a horrible way for the pitcher to deceive the batter, and it made baseball so dishonest. And a press person, a person of the press, conned the curveball, an Uncle Charlie, to make fun of him for disliking the pitch so much.
I say, okay. So technically, Marty and I were correct that you lied about that. We just didn't know how you lied. So, all right.
Okay. That was good. Nice job, Carl. Those are good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my turn. And just a reminder now, I'm going to give the term, and 2 of these are a lie, and 1 is the truth with the definition of the term. So this one I actually learned from the Sarge, Gary Matthews. This was a popular term in the 70s and into the early 80s, and then just faded away amongst the players. And that term is Linda Ronstadt.
Okay.
So it's a term from the 70s used to bust the balls of a guy who just struck out, as in that fastball blew by you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a term from the 70s to bust the balls of an opponent. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good, baby, you're no good.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also a term from the 70s used to bust the balls of any guy who made an error on a very, very routine play. It's so easy. It's so easy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So doggone easy.
Wow.
So only one of these is true.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm going to go. Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah. He's got too much time on his hands. He can't. You got to come on.
I'm going to go.
I don't want to name drop, but this came up in a conversation with Keith Hernandez and Gary Matthews one night.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Blue Bayou because the other 2 are too long. You have to say too many words in the verses, and I've heard of Blue Bayou, and the other ones I have never heard of. So.
Just to define it, they didn't say the whole thing. They just said Linda Ronstadt.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm going to say it's Blue Bayou.
I agree. Blue Bayou.
I'm going to agree too because I've heard that term Blue Bayou before. So I'm going to assume it meant a Linda Ronstadt.
That would be a Willie Nelson, the old Blue Bayou, because he wrote that song. But she sang it, so that's why they said it. Linda Ronstadt.
Yes, yes.
All right, let me throw out another one. And I have an honorable mention one. We'll save for the very end.
Okay.
All right, this one's called a daddy hack. Yes,
Dude,
a
sounds like
daddy
a
hack.
porn.
Yep.
This sounds like a porn station now.
All right. Number one, it's when a hitter hits a foul ball off the ground and it comes back and clanks the old nards.
Oh,
That's a daddy hack. Also, a daddy hack is when a hitter swings so hard he falls down. And then
okay.
a daddy hack is when when a hitter swings so hard he has to step out of the box and pull his pants back up.
Wow, those all sound awful. I'm gonna say what I think it should be, because I don't know the true answer. I think it's when you hit one off the ground and it comes up and hits you in the nards. That's a daddy hack.
I would agree. So like kind of like it's because you hit the daddy's sack. So maybe daddy hack is close enough. Yeah. Okay. I go.
Being an ex-catcher and having seen that actually happen to a few guys, I have to go with that's the daddy hack, the foul ball off the plate up into the crown jewels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I found the term, that's the first thing that came into my mind. It has to be that, and then sadly, it is not. It's the least funny of the three. That the guy swings so hard he falls down. That's a daddy hack. I know.
Oh, I think we should rewrite that. Come on, we got a little influence.
I agree that since it is kind of a long lost baseball term from the past, we could bring it back with our own definition.
There you go.
It would be a great low life term.
Yeah.
When you clank yourself in the nards with a foul ball, that's a daddy hack.
Yeah. I got totally daddy hacked. All right, give us your honorable mention. We're ready. This is getting good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got two if we need them, but Death Valley. Death
Ooh.
Valley.
Okay.
First definition: the deepest part of center field at the old Polo Grounds. Number two, where a player in the 50s and 60s would say they were playing that day if they had to travel out to Apache Junction, Yuma, or Casa Grande. And number three, the shortstop position when Rabbit Moranville was on defense.
Oh.
Polo Grounds.
Yeah, but Marty, he's baiting us. He said Rabbit Moranville just to get us angry.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did, and it worked.
I just had to figure out how to get him on the show.
The Rabbit Moranville one sounds too good to be true. I'm going to go with the Polo Ground.
Webby?
Yeah, I think it's the Polo Grounds.
You should have trusted your first instinct.
Rabbit Moranville.
Rabbit Moranville. When Rabbit Moranville was on defense, a ground ball to shortstop was hit the Death Valley. Come on, he had like almost 6,000 putouts as a shortstop in his career.
Yes.
Maybe the single greatest player of all time.
Yes. I'm glad that micdup has updated the software so that I can eliminate any host or guest at any time. So.
Hey, we have some calls in from JC.
Yeah. These I think you need to play these in order. Bottom up, I think.
Good luck with that.
All right.
Okay. Well, there's three, and then he's got an answer. So here we go.
Okay.
JC here with double play jargon. A double play from pitcher to catcher to first base is often called a Lawrence Welk double play because it is, as the band leaders would say, a 1, a 2, and a 3. A double play the hard way coming up.
I have never heard that term, but I'm going to use it now.
A double play the hard way. That is any double play turned other than a 6-4-3, a 4-6-3, or a 5-4-3 around the horn the double play turn, for instance, from first base to shortstop back to the pitcher is the hard way. Third one.
During the time when they could do shifts on the field, I got to see for the first time a 5-6-3 double play, where they've got the shortstop pulled over to the right of the bag, and he's now the closest player to second base. It made sense. So, scorebook 5-6-3. Weird.
Yep.
All right.
Double play combinations are often said to be keystone combos. This started in Pittsburgh with Honus Wagner and Dots Miller around the turn of the century. They were the double play combination for the Pittsburgh Pirates from Pennsylvania, which is the Keystone State.
All right.
I see.
Do we want to guess?
Yeah.
You guys want to guess before I play his answer?
Yeah. I like the Keystone line. I'll buy that. And the hard way, it sounds that would come from JC because that sounds like a dice term, and he's a gambler. And 1, 2, 3, that's Lawrence Welk wasn't as popular till the 50s. So, but I could see that. I can see someone naming that. So I think a hard way is the faux pas.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm kind of staring at the answer, so
okay. Yeah,
I'm not gonna jump in on this. Carl?
I don't think it's the hard way. I'm as much as I think the Lawrence Welk idea is the now we're going for the truth or the
We're
the
trying
lie.
to point out the lie. Yeah,
It's two truths and a lie.
Unfortunately, as much as I like the idea of and a one and a two and a three, Bobby and a Cindy, we got a double play. I don't think it's the 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna say the Lawrence Welk one is the false.
all right, let's find out.
JC with the answer. The answer is the Keystone combination.
No.
It had nothing to do with Honus Wagner, Dots Miller, or the Pittsburgh Pirates from Pennsylvania. It has to do with the shape of second base and the fact that second base is referred to as the Keystone.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. Okay.
Very good, JC. I can't wait to see my next Lawrence Welk double play. So
Too
Hey,
many
I can
bubbles.
throw in one more, Art.
I can't. There's
if
too
you
many.
want.
I can't see the camera through the bubbles. Too many bubbles.
Sure, you got another one?
I got one more.
Okay.
I actually got two, but I got one for sure. Three hands dead. 3 hands dead. It's an old term for when a fielder bobbled a ground ball and then threw it to the first baseman who dropped it. When 3 consecutive outs are made, or when a switch hitter strikes out from both sides of the plate in the same game. 3 hands dead.
I have no idea. I guess the lie would be
or you're looking for the truth here. You're looking for the truth on this.
Okay, the truth would be the switch hitter striking out from both sides of the plate.
Okay.
Well, why would that be 3, not 2?
Why not?
And they're
okay.
And they're also
I'm going 3 up, 3. I'm going 3 up, 3 down.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go I'm gonna do the first one, which was the bobbled ball and then the drop ball by the first baseman because 3 hands do touch that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that is the most logical, but it's actually 3 up, 3 down.
Of course. Yes. Of course. Why? Sure, I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You know what? If you got a Yingling, I would have given it to you because nobody else has used that term. So.
Now I know how this game's played. I just need to have the beer.
Bingo.
Thanks, Robbie. Now I know better.
Thus endeth the lesson.
Ooh.
All right, you want it?
Hey, Rob, does this count as rookie hazing?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
All right, we got time for one more if you want to do it.
Okay, yeah. This is an old term going back into the early part of the 20th century. A Jimmy Ward. Yes, a Jimmy Ward. A Jimmy Ward. It's a term for a player who was a slow dresser before and after the game. A player who was way too cheap to invest money in his own gear. So it came from the saying that he's so cheap he goes to the Jimmy Ward instead of the Montgomery Ward. And the last one is related. We all know the Jimmy Fund in baseball. So a guy who complains about being hurt all the time, the Jimmy Fund sponsors the children's wing of the old hospitals, the hospital wards at the time. So a guy who's complaining about his injuries all the time needed to be checked into the Jimmy Ward.
That's cool. Yeah, I which one is true? I would say the last one, the Jimmy Ward, because that's what they
Jimmy
call.
Ward?
That's what they call
gonna go with that.
hospitals.
I'm going to go with Jimmy Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jimmy Ward, the
go
hospital.
with Jimmy Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Marty.
I'm gonna go with the he's so cheap he has to borrow everybody else's clothes, so he doesn't go to the Montgomery Ward, he goes to the Jimmy Ward.
Yeah, it was the boring one again. The guy who's a slow dresser. Apparently, there was a guy named Jimmy Ward who was a slow dresser. So anybody else that ever played baseball that was a slow dresser was known as Jimmy Ward.
All right, we're gonna have to remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
All
throw
right.
that out in the clubhouse at one of our tournaments, hey, Jimmy Ward, get your ass moving.
Yeah, nobody will get it.
I will buy you a Yingling. Or an almanac. I mean, depending on where we are.
All right, let's wrap this puppy up. Hey, Carl, thanks for helping us out on a show.
Yeah,
You'll
great
be
job.
asked back again as you've completed the first round of hazing.
Great job, Carl. Nice job.
Yeah.
Way to go. Good job.
We will be back here next week with a show. I think we're going to be doing the show from the Banner Island Ballpark in Stockton. Robbie's going to be running the show, and we will tell you what the topic is as soon as we figure it out. But thanks for joining us. Again, coming up on show 100, we'll do some kind of fun celebration either that night or soon thereafter. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Play us out, Rob.